Good day, dear friends. Let's get straight to the most important news. We are moving towards the Kursk direction, where hostilities continue, and there are changes on the front line both in one direction and the other. Let's start with the southeastern direction, the village of Borky. Just yesterday, Ukrainian units were pushed back from this territory, and for the third consecutive day, footage with geolocation of FPV drone strikes on the positions of the armed forces of Ukraine in this settlement has been published. Based on this data, it can be asserted that Borky is again under Ukrainian control, although the disputed area mainly covers only the residential zone. As for Sudzhi, the situation remains stable, with no changes. It seems that Ukrainian forces are regrouping in the area of the settlement of Ruskaya Konopelka. Meanwhile, footage of strikes on Krasnopol by the Russian army has begun to appear. Next, we move towards Malaya Lokhnya and Cherkasovka. Here, too, there have been no changes over the past day, but numerous strikes by FPV drones on the positions of Ukrainian troops and their equipment have been recorded. Ukrainian forces currently have enough passenger cars, and there are unlikely to be any issues with their movement. The most active events are unfolding in the Koronevsky and Glushkovsky directions. In Koronevo, changes are occurring in favor of disputed territories. According to neutral mappings, this territory has come under the control of Russian troops, as Ukrainian units were forced to retreat due to the saturation of the front line. There is also information that the southeast of Koronevo is again under the control of Russian units, and they have expanded their zone of control in Olgovka. The entire southeastern part of Koronevo is currently under the control of Russian forces, while Ukrainian troops have retreated to the east. According to the footage, we see that a new forward position is being established in the Sudzhansky district, and Russian aviation is starting to operate actively in this area. This could provide an opportunity for a counteroffensive. Main combat actions continue in the Glushkovsky district, where a large number of strikes by FPV drones from Russian units on Ukrainian positions and their relocating equipment have been recorded. Ukrainian troops are attempting to regroup and advance towards Kulbake and Novoivanovka. However, the nearest involvement of Ukrainian forces in offensive actions will depend on whether a new tranche of $50 billion for Ukraine is approved, which is likely to happen after the capture of the first buildings in Pokrovsk. As soon as the funds are allocated, one can expect the redeployment of units, and possibly the situation in the Pokrovsk direction could be slightly slowed down. The current situation demonstrates that open blackmail against Ukraine is beginning from its Western partners to compel them to provide financial support. The engagement of new resources will be critical for the further actions of the armed forces of Ukraine, as losses are currently high, but offensive tempos are still being maintained. Last night, reports emerged of significant advancements by Russian troops in the South Donetsk direction, where Konstantinovka, the target of fighting since early July, is now under the control of Russian forces. According to information from videos published online, a Russian flag was erected on the western edge of Shakhtyrsky Street. Throughout the day, at least 3 similar videos were released, filmed in different locations of the village. The free movement of Russian soldiers in Konstantinovka indicates the absence of Ukrainian forces, both to the north and south of this settlement. Ukraine appears to have retreated from the section of the T-0524 road that stretches from Konstantinovka to the Solonaya Beam. The situation on the opposite bank of the Suky Yali River remains unclear. There, at the very least, a clearing operation is underway to eliminate the remaining Ukrainian units, and at best, the area is under the firm control of Russian troops. Advancement of Russian forces near the Ikriania Beam has also been reported. Previously, Ukrainian positions suffered several strikes, resulting in damage to Ukrainian fortifications in the capture of this strongpoint. Today, information about the situation in the Pokrovsky, Alexandro-Kalinovsky, and South Donetsk directions often boiled down to a series of exclamations. This is not surprising considering the depth of the advancements made by Ukrainian forces in these areas. Nonetheless, the current situation vividly illustrates the mounting operational crisis within Ukrainian forces, which instead of trying to hold back the advance of the Russian army in problematic sectors, have become mired in what is referred to as the Kursk adventure. That's all for now, friends. We remind you that our channel condemns all forms of violence and calls on all parties to engage in immediate negotiations for a peaceful resolution of conflicts. Thank you for staying with us. Subscribe to our channel, like our content, and we wish you all the best.